cat and I play red. We all know what's going on in the world. Basically, there's mayhem everywhere. There's container shortages, cardboard shortages, all sorts going on. So it's really nice when we hear about a small company managing to get their Kickstarter out to backers. So today we're having a look at Curators from World Shaper Games, designed by Jacob Westerland. Let's have a look how it plays. Curators is a Euro-style tile laying, worker flipping, pattern building game. You play the museum chief curator. Over the course of the game, you're going to attract visitors to your museum, allocate your staff efficiently, expand your museum, curate your collection, and fulfill contracts. Using your employee chips, you're going to play 1 or 2 matching workers. Do the action and play will pass to the next player. When the last wing has been taken from the table, the game end is triggered. You have 2 more rounds, end game scoring, and the player with the most victory points wins. The bulk of the gameplay will revolve around your employee chips, and this is actually a really neat and interesting mechanic. You start with all your worker chips with the cog side up, which gives you a set of 5 different actions. When you activate them, you're going to flip them over, which now gives you a different set of chips to play with, allowing you to potentially activate 2 chips of the same type in your turn. So let's have a look at what the chips do. We're going to start with the carpenter, who has the hammer and saw icon. You're going to choose an available wing from the centre of the board, pay for it and place it into your museum. We're going to start with the outside of this spiral. The first wing will cost you 0. The second wing will cost you $1,000. The next will cost you $2,000, and so on. If you really want to spend all your money buying something from the middle, you pay before you remove them for the circle. So if I had a double carpenter action and I wanted to take these 2, this one would be free, this would cost me $1,000, this would cost me $2,000. So I pay the cost and take them. So I'm going to take, actually, do you know what? I am going to take those. So I'm going to pay my $2,000, so 1, 2, 3 change, and take these 2. Then I'm going to place them in my museum. They must fit door to door. So let's have a look. There's some doors here. I'm going to pop that there and here. You can place them however you like. They can't overlap. Once they're placed, they can't be moved from their place. It's common sense tile laying rules. So I'm going to pop them there. When a player takes the last tile from the board here, they're going to take 1 object of their choice from the middle, flip this tile over, and the game end has begun. Once this is revealed, there'll be 2 more rounds. At that point, you can use your carpenter just to gain $1,000. Next up, we have the archaeologist with Indiana Jones's hat here. This action has 2 parts. You'll get to take 1 art object of your choice and place it in storage. So guess what? I'm going to take a red one and pop it into the storage of my museum here. Your storage in your museum allows you to have 6 objects. You can always take more and choose, but you must always immediately discard down to 6. The second part of the archaeologist action is to take another interesting object of the same colour and place it onto the auction board here. You always fill from the bottom to the top. If you were to do a double action with your archaeologist, you can choose to take objects of 2 different colours. So let's flip those 2 over. I took a red and I'll take a blue object as well. And again, the blue goes into the auction house. The next worker is the collection manager, shown here with the hammer. This allows you to buy objects of 1 colour from the auction house. So the cost is shown here. So these ones here will cost you $2,000. The ones here will cost you $1,000. If you wanted to take more than the 2, you can always pay $3,000 for items that aren't on the board here. Remember your storage limit when you're doing this though. A double allocation with the collection manager. So if you flipped 2 chips over, you can buy items of 2 different colours. Next, we have the financial manager, shown with the money bags here. The financial manager allows you to gain money for every visitor you have in your museum. So a single flip would get you $1,000 per visitor. So in this case, I only had the 1 at the moment. If I flipped 1 chip, I'd get $1,000. If I did a double allocation and flipped 2 financial managers, I'd get $2,000 per visitor on my board. The last worker chip we have is the restorer here. This allows you to take interesting objects from your storage and place them into your museum. So here I'm going to take this 1 red and place it into a matching square. So this is red and that's going to go there. If I did a double allocation, I could move objects of 2 different colours. If instead of a red and a blue in my storage, if I'd had 2 reds, just 1 flip of the restorer would allow me to move both my red chips. Now here you can see I've completed this wing of the museum. So this will gain me a visitor because they're pleased that I have good stuff to come and see. So I'm going to take a visitor from the supply and place it on my board. Now you see here there is the little wax seals on the visitor track. This will allow me to take some contracts. I can take 1 red and 1 black contract and choose 1 to keep. So I'm going to do that and we'll talk about contracts in a minute. So, my goodness, these are tough. I don't like these. I'm going to take that one and discard the black one. So that is the basis of what your chips do. This double flip mechanism obviously will always give you more powerful actions. So when doing them, it's worth noting at the bottom here, if you can see, quite small, it shows you what's on the other side of the chip. So you can plan ahead to some degree. This mechanism is very cool. Over the course of the game, you'll gain contracts. these are worth endgame points and come in two types, standard and complicated. The standards are, I think this is a complicated one, yeah. The standards are usually worth less points, but easier to fulfill. You're going to start the game with one of each in your hand, and as you saw, gaining visitors here and here will give you the opportunity to draw more over the course of the game. You're trying to match the shapes and colours on here with that in your museum. So let's actually have a look. We've got Tutankhamun's Senate gaming board here. I think he might have used that to play heavy Euros on, but you know, no accounting for taste. So here I need a red, a black, a red and a black there in this T shape. Now this can be rotated or moved. The spaces in between can be filled. So I'm actually quite close to that already. I have the red, the black and the red. So all I need to do is have a black here to complete that. When I complete it, I just keep it face down in front of me, ready to score at the end of the game. All these cards have got flavour text. They have pictures of the items they represent, along with what the item is and where you can go see it. Obviously, there's the blue, the black and the red, but you'll also see on some this wildcard symbol. So this wildcard symbol here, the star, allows that to be any colour you choose. The game end is triggered when all these tiles have gone, look at them go, and the last one is taken. At this point, the player who took it can choose one of these objects. I'm going to take this grey one, flip the tile over, and there's 2 more rounds left to play in the game. You can still allocate your carpenter tile, but obviously if there's no tiles to take from the middle, instead you gain $1,000. Game end scoring is shown on the scorepad. We love a good scorepad here. So you're going to get 1 point for every $4,000 you have left at the end of the game. You're going to get points for any completed wings in your museum. Now, if you see here, there's a very small number 2 in the middle. So this completed wing would give me 2 points. Obviously, the larger wings, like this big one here, this would gain me 4 points, but you only score that if they're completed, i.e. they are full of interesting objects. Your completed contracts are going to score you the points as shown in the card. So this would be 5 if it was completed, 3 and 3. You're then going to gain 1 point for every object you have in your museum. Objects that are left in your storage at the end of the game don't count. So in the case here, I'd score 3 points for these guys, but this little blue object here would score me nothing. The player with the most VPs at the end of the game wins. I have to say, I really love this worker chip mechanism going here. I don't think I've seen it in anything else. I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong please. But I love the fact that you're kind of constantly balancing between trying to get these double actions, but also just using what you need to use. The contracts, I love the detail that's gone into these and the fact that there's stuff about each individual item, and obviously there's loads of cards, so there's loads of information and photos and stuff been put into this. However, I will say I'm a bit rubbish with pattern recognition, but this really adds an element to the game, especially with this flavour in it. The rule book is actually really good. In fact, why are you even watching this video? Read the rule book. No, don't. Carry on watching, please. It's really good. It's got a very nice glossary. It's got a quick reference on the back explaining the chips to you. The other things I didn't mention is there's a little advanced version of this game. So there's 4 cards here that add a different something. So you can shuffle these up and turn one face up at the start of the game, and then that's going to apply for the course of the game. They're mostly extra victory points for stuff, so you can add them in if you want. If you're a solo gamer, there's actually pages and pages of missions that you can try and complete as a solo gamer. So I think they get more complex as you go on. But rather than just having a solo mode where you're trying to beat an AI or beat a certain points, there's different elements to all of these. And again, they're very thematic. So if you do like your solo games, have a look at these. I think that's a really nice take on the solo game. Curators. It's being shipped to backers now. I think there might be a retail release as well. Keep an eye out for it. Some really nice little things. So I know I've said it, love the action, love the worker selection. We really like a score pad. You can always have this on the table in the game and you know what's going to get you points. So we like a good score pad. Check it out. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, click like, subscribe. If you've got a friend that's got this coming, send them the link. Then they'll know how to play it when you go and play it with them. Awesome. Come and say hello on the socials, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I play red. Until next time, thanks. Bye.